Da, 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 da. I like to sit here and plug the stream a little.
I think I'll help you with that. All right. I just shared it out.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everybody. I am the owner, creator of Chris Knight, and your commentator of CPW Odds Coronet. And welcome to another edition of Chris Knight Speaks, the show, podcast, review, thingamabob that comes out once every blue moon. And today we are going to talk with a good friend of mine, a man that's been around this wacky, crazy world of call wrestling since BS3 days, like me. But he has a one hell of a unique way of looking at things, and also he has one hell of a YouTube channel, Twitch channel, and everything else. And he is one of my best friends. He is Triple Beet.
Hey guys.
Well, it's good that we're able to do this,
I know, right? It's kind of cool.
especially how especially how this day's gone.
Yeah.
Bound for success and reliving your past with a watch along.
Yeah, that was interesting.
But as
Oh
with any
man.
interview, how did you get start? How did you get started? Playing these games.
Um. Well, I went over to a friend's house and he had No Mercy. Well, actually, no, he had a WWF Warzone, and that was my introduction to wrestling games. Was WWF Warzone, and it was a lot of fun. And it was around the time of the Attitude Era, and that was my introduction to wrestling and to the wrestling games. And it that turned into WrestleMania 2000, which turned into playing No Mercy, and then I had a PlayStation, so I had SmackDown and SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. I remember the cell matches from those games where like you could just slam people through the cell and the cell
Mm-hmm.
would just explode. Um, and then um, and then from there, me and my little brother would roughhouse, and we kind of knocked over a lamp. And when it happened, my mom was just like, "Okay, you guys are done. You're not gonna play. You're done with wrestling." So for like 2 or 3 years, it got taken away. And when we were able to like show that we were mature enough to watch it, I was able to watch it again. And that was like 2003 or 2004, I think. And I got I ended up getting SmackDown versus Raw for the PlayStation 2, which was an amazing game. And I remember getting 2006, and then '07, and '08. But for the earlier games, it was the GM modes that I loved. Like, that was the best part of those games for me. I really didn't get into creating until 2010. Like, I didn't get serious into it until 2010. Um, and even then, I was still kind of casual. But in 2011, I made a call, uh, who I think you guys may know. I mean, you might know this call's name. I mean, Delvin McLeod, but I mean, who knows Delvin in this group, right? Yeah, yeah. It's not
Around
like
here,
he's a CPW
around here, I
champion or
think he's kind of
something like
famous.
that. Yeah, yeah. Well, okay, I haven't even gotten into this part of the story, man. So, it's SmackDown versus Raw 2011. I put Delvin up on CC, and someone comes in and tells me that he looks really cool and he'd like to put him on a show, and that someone just happens to be Citizen Monk,
Yeah, the man that's
who
in that chat.
just jumped in the chat. Yeah, he just jumped in the chat. And he gave me my first opportunity in comp, pretty much. Putting Delvin on SPW, and that was back in the story designer days. And when he commented on Delvin what I did was I started looking for his stuff because I believe in I always have believed in paying it forward and also repaying. So like if someone gives you the time of day, you know, give them the time of day too. And he took the time to, in my eyes, he took the time to look at my creation and then go in and comment and tell me that he looked really cool. So I wanted to do the same. So I went in and found he had stories in Story Designer, and I downloaded a couple of them, and I would play them, and they were commercials, and I thought they were really, really cool. And that was my introduction into the world of Caw and making creative characters. And around that time, I was in college, so for a couple years, I kind of fell out of Caw because I was really focusing on school and trying to get good grades and get a degree.
Yeah.
And about 3 or 4 years ago, I it was like 2018 or 2019, and I started really getting serious with this, and I learned how to use GIMP and learned how to use different things, and that's kind of what led me to here. But I wouldn't be here right now um, had Monk not, you know, gone in there and commented on that character in 2011. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't be making these shows had he not, like, you know, reached out in 2018. Um, and that's kind of really when I started getting into Caw. And then, Monk, I kind of owe it to you, man. You're who started all this. So thank you, bro. Thank you.
And before getting into this wacky ass hobby that we have, you have another passion. You have another hobby. You have another thing that you like,
Are you talking about Pokemon?
which is motocross.
Ah, motocross. Yeah, yeah. I I actually grew up in a racing family, and we go out to the races every weekend. There was actually a national today that I haven't even seen yet, so I'm gonna watch. I'll probably watch that at some point this week. Um, I almost dropped my controller there. Um, but I grew up in a racing family. That's kind of how my parents met. They met through racing. My dad raced and my mom was a scorekeeper. Um, my uncle raced in the desert, and then yeah, that happened. And I've never been really good on a motorcycle, but when it came to actually playing the video games, um, when it came to playing the video games, I really, really, really enjoyed it, you know? And the racing games are kind of the other side of the coin, right? And what's really funny is the company that makes them is the same company that was making the wrestling games back in the day, and that's THQ.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And then they tried to do a
Well, the
then they
thing
tried to do a WWE style racing thing,
they
a
did.
demolition derby.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They tried doing like they tried making their own like
Sup, Mac?
damn it. Hey, Mac. I think they did, but I don't remember that game actually. I really don't remember that game. But
They did. My friend had it. It was really
okay.
weird.
That makes sense.
It was like Twisted Metal with WWE.
Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. Skipping about all the girls you got pregnant back in the 90s.
Those
Man,
rumors are
I
those
don't even
rumors
think I
can be
was.
confirmed nor denied.
I don't even think I was old enough to be able to do that in the 90s. Oh man. Okay.
You mentioned Pokemon. When did that come in?
The
Uh,
90s.
your love for it.
The 90s, actually, yeah. Late 90s, early 2000s. Same friend who, like, the same friend's house who I'd go over to play the wrestling games, they were also into Pokemon and Pokemon cards and all that. And that's kind of what got me started there. Started collecting them. And then the video games is what I really got hooked on, starting with actually the originals with Red and Blue. My cousin had a copy of it, and then we were over at his house, and I remember sitting there for like 4 or 5 hours one night, and I just lost track of time because I was trying to just play through that starting portion when you pick your starter, and I'd play all the way to Misty, and then I turned the game off because he already had a save file on there, and I didn't want to ruin his save. But eventually my mom bought me the game, and then I ended up playing my first playthrough. Uh, Always, my starter is always going to end up being Blastoise. As you probably know in your Discord, like you'll see my icon as a Blastoise.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why. Starter's always going to be Squirtle. Whenever I get the option to use Squirtle as a starter, that's what I'll most likely choose, because it's just always the starter for me.
I always go with Bulbasaur, but my first game was Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah.
I watched the show long before then, but I got into the games around Ruby and Sapphire.
Okay. I got into the games at Red and Blue, and then I had Gold and Silver and Ruby and Sapphire. I've had every single generation, but like I took like a year off between Gold and Silver and Ruby and Sapphire. So I came into Ruby and Sapphire a little before Emerald. A little before Emerald. But those are good games, and I also started streaming that about a year ago. I started streaming Pokemon about a year ago now. I'm thinking of doing more of it in November when the new game comes out. So I may end up doing Pokemon streams on the Twitch channel and then doing wrestling on YouTube. I'm leaning towards that right now.
Awesome. Speaking of streaming, your Twitch and obviously your YouTube as us bros that know you know that you just hit 100 subscribers.
Mm-hmm. It caught me off guard, to be honest, when it finally happened. Because for so long I've been at like 60, and I saw it grow by 20 about a month ago, and I was like, wow, I wonder if I keep doing stuff, if I can get it to actually grow. So I tried doing other things and just trying different things, and one of the things that I decided to try was YouTube Shorts. And I've had a few shorts that have over 2,000 views on them, and it's just because I uploaded them at the right time. Or, I mean, it's random. I have some shorts that only have 5 views, and then I have some that have 2,000.
Some of them are blown up.
Mm-hmm. And I think those are the ones where I'm getting some subs from those. I'm getting some subs from Um, from Twitter, because Mac actually got me, or he's been helping me out, helping push and promote things that I post on Twitter and whatnot. And I'll post like pictures of cause, or I'll post when I go live now. I post that on Twitter. I shared this stream on Twitter. I've been doing that. I've been doing YouTube Shorts. I've been in the Discord groups that I'm in. Whenever I go live, I find wherever either their affiliate link is, or where their affiliate page is, or where the promote your stuff link or page is, and I'll put my stuff there whenever I go live now. I've started getting smarter about promoting my stuff, I guess, and it's been working. It's been working for me, and I'm super thankful to everybody who's helped me get to 100 subs. I just want to throw that out there. I am very thankful to all of you. Thank you enough.
Yeah, you've done amazing, amazing work. And one of the things that your channel started with was Octane.
Yeah. God, that's a fun story in itself. That even kind of ties into the other thing of like the whole motocross thing. That's what got me to think of the name for it. And I was gonna do a show that was gonna be all cruiserweights. That was the original setup for Octane. It was supposed to be all cruiserweights. Obviously, Delvin was the main like star of the show. He's the headliner, right? And then I was gonna kind of bring in other cruiserweights and have them all face him, and that's kind of where it started. And when I really started to do, or thinking about it, and thinking about doing stuff on YouTube, I started looking around at everybody else's streams and what they were doing, and then I went, you know, it might be smart for me to have a women's division, and it would be smart for me to have a heavyweight division. And then for a while, I really emphasized how like the cruiserweights and the heavyweights were different from each other, and that there was a cruiserweight world champion who was a headliner, and there was a heavyweight world champion who was a headliner, and they were just two separate weight classes, and I really wanted to emphasize that. And then now I've gotten to the point where I still have the cruiserweight world championship, but now I have the undisputed championship, which is like anybody from any weight class can hold this belt. And that's how it evolved over the years. And then I added shows as I had ideas, so Galaxy and Glow and MXT all came in. But Octane is still like, I still look at Octane like it's Monday Night Raw in a way. You know, it's that show that you all want to be on. Galaxy is now taking a new format moving forward, but I can cover that at another time. That needs its own stream for me to explain the Galaxy format. That's coming up.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's going to be a way for me to add new cause to the show. I'm doing a Grand Prix setup where it's like 16 episodes. And nice. I'm using the Supercross format with heats and main event, or heats, last chance qualifiers, and main events on the Galaxy shows. So I'll pick like 16 men and 16 women who I'm going to put into it. And 8 men and 8 women will compete each night. And I'll alternate between different groups. And I'm going to group them into groups of 4, and I have this whole thing all mapped out. But like I said, I need to actually stream how it's all going to be set up and everything. But they'll have their qualifiers, the last chance match, and the main event all in one night. And the main event will always be a title match. So whoever the Galaxy Pro champion is, or whoever the Grand Prix champion is that night, will have to defend the title the following week. Guaranteed. So you will always have championship matches at the end of the show. And any past champions, anyway, that's like I said, I need another episode to actually explain that. But because I don't want to bore you guys or confuse you, because trust me, I can ramble on about stuff. That's why we call that pulling a beetle.
With how long you've been doing YouTube and doing this wacky hobby, we all end up suffering from burnout. And how have you avoided burnout?
Well, I actually haven't. That's the funny part. I haven't avoided burnout. I got burnout majorly about a year ago. So what I did was I just buried myself in work. And then I didn't stream for a very long time. But what I learned from it was that when I do notice, and I do this now, when I do feel like I'm getting burnt out, what I do is I take a step back and I simplify things. So I'll go in and I'll be editing shows because I do edit. Even though I do live stuff, I do edit. And I'll go in and I'll be doing edited shows like crazy. And then all of a sudden, like when I feel like I'm burnt out, I take a step back. And instead of doing edited stuff, I do live stuff. And I have that backed up. I build my universe in such a way to where if I do ever need to take a step back, I can take a step back. But if I can't do that in the universe, then, maybe one week I'll just do a GM mode stream so I can actually focus on other stuff and not have to worry about it. And I have the watch-alongs too. Like that's
Yeah.
another thing. Like earlier, like we just did, I could throw up an old episode of something and just sit there and talk about it and relax and know that I don't have to actually go in and edit anything. That's kind of how I deal with it, at least. I just kind of change things up every once in a while.
Is that your advice to anybody doing anybody else that's in this hobby that may be in the position of possibly getting close to burnout?
Yeah. Change it up. If you notice that you're on the verge of a burnout because you've been going super crazy on editing, or you do a show every week and all you do is pour your heart and soul into this, take a break, get away for a day or two. Your channel's not going anywhere. I get that you need to have a consistent schedule. I get that. But what I've done with mine is I only stream on Saturdays now. I don't stream during the week. During the week is my time when I'm off work to relax. And if I want to, I'll edit it a little bit for my show. But that's it. That's how I see it now. Like, the week is for me to relax. I can watch people's shows if I want to. I can do whatever I want when I'm off work. But on Saturdays, I know that for a few hours, I'm going to be in front of a camera and I'm going to be streaming. And I need to be at 110% when I'm sitting in front of that camera, because my goal is to be as entertaining as possible to whoever's watching and to have as much fun as possible as I can. But if you are feeling burnout, it is okay to take a week off. I mean, I've got a family gathering next weekend, so I'm not going to be live. And I even told everybody ahead of time, too. It's like, at the end of last week's show, I said, hey, guys, in 2 weeks, there's not going to be a show. I've got a family gathering coming up. I'm not going to be live. Like, it's just about having priorities, I guess. I mean, The best advice that I can give someone suffering through burnout, though, would just be to be like, if you feel it coming on, take a step back and just take a step back. Simplify something in your process. Whatever's going to help you relax for that week, simplify it something. If it's you don't like having or you don't feel like having the camera on one day because you get up and you're in a shitty mood, or you're not feeling it, maybe don't have the camera on that day. Or if you don't feel like talking, don't have your mic on or something, and just put in the title, no mic or something like that. That way people know going in you're not going to be talking. But that would be my advice.
Good advice. Good advice. This is Chris Knight. This is Chris Knight Speaks, and one of the main reasons I want to do this interview was to celebrate Triple Beet's hard work of getting to 100 subscribers, and cheers to him, and here's to 100 more, and here's
Thanks,
to one
man.
day getting to 1,000.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Letting y'all get to know Triple Beet, the guy that all of us have grown to call friend over all these years. And here's to more of his success, and if you want to check out his channel, the link will be dropped in the chat. For those of you that have not seen any of his stuff. So with that all being said, I am Against Odds 20, the owner, the creator of Chris Knight. And whenever the hell I do promos, the voice.
But you do fantastic promos, by the way.
Thank you. And this has been Chris Knight Speaks. This has been an interview. I'll hopefully do more of these in the future. And Chris Knight Speaks will hopefully not be once in a blue moon, as it's been, but you never know. With that being said, we will catch you later. Thank you, Triple Beet, for being my first interview.
Thank you for interviewing me. I appreciate that.
And we'll catch you later. As my brother Beetle would say.
See you later.
As my brother Beetle would say, this stream is done.